All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Type1lifting podcast. Thank you for tuning in. The guests that we had originally decided, I don't know if they're dead or not. I'm just kidding. They're not dead. They,
They're probably just walking the beach,
yeah,
or
what,
he's eating at tide pools, which I'm
yeah,
probably gonna say it's eating at tide pools.
yeah. So, it was Nick O'Sullivan, but he is not here, so he's probably going to reschedule. But I have my main man, Xander Fallek, with me, so we're just
Well,
going to shoot the shit. Let's go.
let's go. I am back. We have a lot of prepared questions that have none of which can apply to me, so I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah. So I do want to let you know. So like I had dinner last tonight, and you ever had a pho?
Yeah. The Thai noodle like ramen dish thing.
Yeah, dude, I can't stand that shit. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. Like, and first of all, like I've been to it one before, and I went to one
Yeah.
tonight because I was just like, I wanted to try this new restaurant out in my town in Gainesville, and my son's like, no, I want to go to pho, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I'll try it out again. So I still have no idea like how what's what, and I made my own like faux bowl with like filet mignon, a meatball, and like all this other stuff, and like vegetable broth and stuff. And
You gotta stop trying that. You really
yeah,
just gotta go with like, hey, what would you guys suggest?
yes, I got to do that.
This do it yourself thing is not going well for you.
No, no,
No.
and it was just like, and the problem is there's not enough food for me to eat.
Yeah, you're essentially eating a glorified chicken soup.
Yeah, and it's just like I literally had like one spring roll with like shrimp in it, and then I had the bowl, and then I had my son's bowl, and then I had some like crab rangoon, and it was just like it wasn't filling me up. And then all of a sudden, like right before this podcast, it just my blood sugar just like threw like, whoop, see you later.
Yep, that's the filet mignon crab rangoon.
Yeah,
Ragoon.
whatever.
Sure. Yep,
Yeah,
words.
and
Uh,
it's so difficult because my daughter's like such a picky eater that she's like, well, she's 4, so but she's like, I don't want this, or she tries it, she's like, all right, I want one bite and I'm done, and then she wants dessert.
it's like that, but daughter, this is not how this works.
Mm-mm,
Like,
mm-mm.
nope. You got to eat your whole meal, and then maybe you can get dessert once a week.
Yes, and it hasn't been even been once a week. It's mainly like maybe once every 2 weeks.
Nice, good for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
She's really not understanding the odds here that are not in
No,
her
no,
favor.
no. And
That is,
she's still like looking at her iPad and saying, "Oh, hey, I want this for Christmas. Can you tell Santa Claus?" And I'm like,
yeah.
you got to wait another year, but hey,
You're
that's fine."
no. She's just early. Can't be late if you're out, if you're early. She's like, yeah, can I get this? Yeah, you can in about, I don't know, 11 months.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
like, that's wild. I had a completely different experience because I don't know if you know anyone, but I was personally victimized by Southwest Airlines last week.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, yep. So got completely hosed by them to go to my buddy Ben's wedding. And I was supposed to, like, I was already on the road for 3 weeks because I went up to Maine, trained, girlfriend, went to my parents' house, Christmas there. I was supposed to fly home Monday, work, and then go to my friend's wedding, which was last Friday.
Hmm.
Southwest Airlines decided last Monday that that was not going to happen, and then rescheduled, like just postponed the flight to Wednesday. Still would have been home, been able to drive to the wedding in Arkansas. Then I wake up Tuesday morning, the flight's completely canceled. I can't get anywhere until Sunday. And luckily, I'm at my parents' house. Not everyone else was like as lucky as me, or was I had my bag,
Yeah, yeah.
so it wasn't like too bad. But flew to Fayetteville, Arkansas, because that's where the wedding was. I had to fly
Hmm.
American, but American put me on a flight to Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I want you guys to know that North Carolina and Arkansas are not actually close to one another at all. Go check a map. But apparently, to American Airlines, it's the same place. So I had to run to a ticket desk to tell them because I didn't realize it till I got to Charlotte and I was connecting. So I was like, North Carolina. I'm like, I need to go to the one in Arkansas. So I went to the ticketing counter and they're like, well, so you're going to be rebooked on this 4 o'clock. But if you run all the way across this airport right now and do a half-mile time trial in cowboy boots, you could potentially make this flight right now that's boarding, and we'll put you on standby. And I was like, oh shit. So I ended up booking it. I made it, got to Arkansas. Ryan McKay, being the absolute legend that he is, picks me up. Is we work out, we go, he drops me off at the hotel. The whole wedding thing happens. Me and him hang out. he is a lifesaver because we spent New Year's Eve together, and then he drove me home
Hmm.
2 hours, and then he just turned around and drove back because he was like, I need a little bit of time before I go back to work on Sunday. So don't fly Southwest Airlines right now, even though they
Yeah,
did give me 25,000 miles before they pay me back for a lot of other things.
that's insane. That is insane.
It was rough, but fitness is just slowly but surely happening. How's all your snatch work going?
Good, good. I hang snatched. I think it was like 230 last week
Yeah, for two?
for one.
Okay.
So I think it was like I did yeah, I think yeah, it was like just for one because I think I typically read the Misfit program wrong, especially when it comes to the snatch stuff. So
Yep.
when it says for two, I typically do one by accident. So
Mm, purposeful. I like it.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So at least it's retest. We got squatting. The squat cycle ended. So in phase four picks up next week. So that'll be fun. And then quarterfinals prep camp. You're invited, but you keep saying no every single time we invite you. So nice.
I would love to go. I honestly would really, really love to go,
Just
but
don't be married and don't have kids.
yeah, it's a little too late now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's late. Yeah, it's like that advice works really good like 15 years ago. Yeah, thanks.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's on my bucket list. And also Wadapalooza as well. Like
yeah,
those two are on my bucket list just to go there and just because I talked to Ted a good amount too from the
yeah,
the media guy for Misfit. If anybody doesn't know that, so if I have any questions or like anybody, even on the Discord app,
yeah. You
so
can literally ask anything on the Discord, like to make things a little bit easier. Um, but like, so that was awesome. And then, have you been hitting any of the Metcons or anything?
I have. So I lately it's been like I've been on a time cap. I've been doing a lot of intervals with like the skier, the
Yep,
rower, and all that stuff because like I know that my endurance is absolutely garbage, and
yep.
so I just been doing a lot of that. And like there was one where it was the pull ups. Oh god, chest to bar. It was like chest to bar. Well, it was supposed to be muscle ups. I did chest to bar pull ups, and then it was wall balls and the 800-meter run.
Oh, that workout sucked.
Yeah. So I did chest to bars and then I did wall balls. And then, so the gym that I'm at, they don't have a treadmill. They do have a treadmill, but it's like way far away. And like
And
there's
is it an assault runner or is it like an old school like real like
old
treadmill?
school like Global Gym treadmill.
Oh,
And
okay.
the other problem is like there's no door that you can like go outside and go for a run. And so I was doing shuttle sprints back and forth.
That's a weird setup, but like it makes sense. But you have 24-hour access now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like so every like 800 meters I would do like 20 down and backs.
So you got practice in shuttle sprints. Nice.
Yes, yes.
Nice. Yeah, I've been personally victimized by those too. But like that's hilarious. That like yeah, I just did I joined a new gym today.
Your
So
garage?
no, Crunch Fitness. We are opening a local Crunch Fitness here in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. I shall be a member there, so I'm very excited about that. They have a lot of amenities that I've never seen in a CrossFit gym.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited about that. So, but got to figure out where I'm doing the open. That is now currently the question because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Crunch Fitness is not going to be the answer.
No. I mean, typically for me, I would do like drop-ins for like CrossFit gyms around my area, and like
Yeah,
I would email and be like, or just like reach out to them like, hey, do you have any interest or whatnot to, have me do? And I'll do like early morning, and I'll pay like
yeah,
right like the day before and stuff. And they're like, most of them are like, yeah, but one of them I was in. I'm not naming names, but like it was me and this guy. Like so, they do like a competition who's like first place, second place, and third place for their gym.
okay,
And
yep,
so it's like a competition inside the gym because there's like no elite athletes or no like, perennial games athletes like there at all. So I thought I was in that list.
mm,
And
I've
so
been there.
they actually put me on that list too.
Yeah,
And so I won the whole thing and they didn't put me on the
because you weren't a
pedestal.
full-time
Yes.
member. Those
Yes.
jerks.
And so
Those.
after that whole process was done, and the owner comes up to me and he's just like, "Hey, I know you won the whole thing, but this is mainly for the people that are at the gym and are there." And I'm like, "Hey, man, that's fine,
Yeah,
whatever."
it's
I'm
like
like,
what do you like? I get it. Like I'm at least he said something to you and didn't just be like completely like hosed you over.
Mhm.
Like it's like, yeah, I had the best like open score like at this gym that I dropped in at. It's like that's cool. It's like not the fittest like man on earth. Like that's still not going to be a thing. It's like, oh, I dropped in somewhere and I had a pretty okay time. It's like
Mhm.
that's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, and he doesn't want me back at that gym anymore.
Nice. That's usually how that goes too. It's like, ah, you're too fit for us. You're
Yeah.
not really the clientele we're looking for.
Yeah, and he even states that too. But it's like it was a large gym. It was like wide open, and so I went to this other gym that's great. So Cumming Strength and Fitness. If you're in the Cumming, Georgia area, you definitely got to check this gym out. This is like I believe it's like an old auto body garage turned into a CrossFit gym.
That's a pretty cool setup though.
Yeah.
Like if that's what they do, like that's there's yeah, it's always the refurbished or like the old businesses that like if you do it the right way, you can actually make a pretty cool affiliate.
Mhm.
I don't know if you have seen Make Wad's Great Again's affiliate that he purchased.
I have not.
He like they have a pretty cool setup in there, from what I've seen on Instagram. But you have to travel all the way to Cleveland or somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm not going to Ohio. I'm good.
Yeah, it's pretty flat and reminds me of Pittsburgh, so I'll pass. Um, but they have a pretty cool setup. I'm trying to think of the other ones that have had pretty cool. Something will come to me. Chalk Performance Training in California looks really good. Not to
Yeah.
be that Nick couldn't be part of our podcast tonight.
Have you seen Travis Mayer's gym? Have you been in there?
I just assumed he was at the TTT gym.
So
Am I
it's
wrong?
no, 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 no. So
Okay.
the way it works is I mean, I believe this is from what he said. So originally it wasn't CrossFit Passion, it was like something else. And I was there and he was like coaching there, and then TTT took over. Like it's like, just think of like a long rectangle. And
Okay.
so, and then like you have the door frame, and it's like a little small, like thinner rectangle that's further up, like near the front entrance.
Yeah.
That's where a training think tank actually rents their space,
Oh.
and the rest is for the CrossFit Passion community.
Hmm. Okay. We'll have to ask Dr. Hardy next week about that.
Yeah. So and like I guess, and so they have like offices and stuff like that, and like it's a really really nice gym.
Okay.
So yeah,
So you've dropped in there, obviously.
yeah, I've dropped in. Well, Travis. Well, I don't know if he still remembers me, but he does. He every time I've gone in there, he's like, "Hey Tom, how's it going?" And it's just like,
Oh,
you
that's nice.
like thousands of people. How the fuck do
Well,
you
that's
remember
like
my name?
that's like how Chandler Smith is. Chandler Smith has like the world's greatest memory for names.
Hmm.
And it perplexes me to this day. But like that's pretty okay. I didn't realize that. I thought TTT had its own. It's all the same place.
Yeah.
It's all the same. It's CrossFit is like Alabama. So that's usually how that goes.
Yeah,
But
in the gym that I go to, like I said, like you said before, 24-hour access.
yeah.
They have like a boxing ring in the open area for like where you
Okay.
do
This is like a
CrossFit.
real gym. Like this is a gym for everybody.
Yeah, like Rusty Bar. It's mainly like a powerlifting gym, but they have bumper plates there, so I do Olympic weightlifting there, like early in the morning and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
So
it. It's pretty funny.
yeah, but that's like those are the gyms that you're like, okay, they just have a wide demographic of people that are members here.
Hmm.
So that's always a good thing. But
Yeah, and they have a pegboard. They have a pegboard too on the
like
wall.
like a Rogue One or like one of the old school ones where it's like, oh,
Old,
we were early, aka we were very before like
early, very,
Dave
very,
Castro
very.
found out what they were.
Yeah, very, very early. And so I was like, sweet. So I went to Amazon, bought like
Pegs.
the pegs and everything like that, and I try to climb up it. So I was like maybe like halfway up. And so the second bracket from that pegboard got loose, and I almost like fell. I was just like, luckily like I was on the other side, so I was like holding it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit. And so I literally just like jumped off, and I'm like, yeah, that's no one's I'm not getting on back on that again.
Nope, nope. Are the pegs still in there?
No, I kept them in
Oh,
my
okay.
bag, so I
Okay,
still have
yeah, I
them.
was like, oh, that's good. So your kids can find them and start beating each other with them.
Hmm.
That's they're just wooden weapons at this point. So that's not well. That's a pretty good setup. I have to go see the Crunch Fitness tomorrow that I'm joining because it's brand new. So it's not super far from my apartment, but we'll see how it goes, and then just kind of make adjustments to fitness as it is. Um,
Yeah. So do they have assault bikes or anything like that there?
So they have their high intensity interval training section. Yeah, kick rocks. It's just whatever you want it to be. They have wall balls. From the one Crunch Fitness I have dropped into, they had like some off-brand rowing and like Schwinn bikes.
Okay.
So we'll see how they are. Like I'm not like it's $1 for the entire year and like $10 a month. I'm like not gonna like yeah. It's Crunch Fitness is essentially the Planet Fitness, but they want you to lift the weights.
Okay. Okay.
So like it's a pretty it should be a good time because I'm like it'll be fun, but we'll see how it goes. Um, and so I'm excited about it. Working out's been a huge bear lately, just because I'm just like I think I'm just super burned out. So, but I did. Oh, I'm running the Chicago Marathon
Oh, when is that?
October.
Okay.
So got a long time to train for that, but I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
What made you do that?
So I did my first marathon February of 2020, like 2 weeks before the old pre-pandy.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, pre-pandy, I ran my first marathon in like 3 hours, 32 minutes, and 31 seconds. I'd have to go check the Cowtown in Fort Worth. And then, so me and Gabe are going to run the Chicago in October. We
Okay.
like put in for the lottery. We didn't qualify, and then they were like, "Yep, here you go." I'm almost sure because I guess his college roommate also tried for the lottery and didn't get it. Um, they just saw what like this guy from Oklahoma and this guy from Maine. Yeah, those two get it. Like we have to have some special number like selected for them, so
Hmm.
they can have those. But I was just like, I guess we got it because most people I guess have to qualify. So sucks to suck, people.
Yeah.
Just
Well, that's the Boston Marathon too. Like you have to you either you have to qualify on like other races, or you are part of like a hospital team or like a company that gives out numbers, and
okay.
like they'll
It's
be
like
like,
the New
okay, you can do it.
York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
New
exactly.
York apparently is like 5 grand for a charity though. You have to raise like $5,000 for a charity place now, and it's getting a little ridiculous. I always thought Boston you had to qualify. I guess that's just the way I looked at it, and I guess I'm wrong.
No,
So
well, you have to qualify, but you have like other companies, like I said before, like they have to
okay,
they can like let's just say like, okay, this person does marathons, on our company. We'll put her or him, or into the Boston Marathon if they want to do it.
oh okay. So you can get sponsored or charity or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Or you just don't have a number and just run it.
didn't somebody do that?
No,
Isn't
there's
there like some?
tons of people do it all
Yeah,
the time. Tons of
I can
people.
believe that. Yeah, I'm like the least shocked at that. That would happen, but
So when are you planning to like kick in the marathon training?
I'll probably just do a little bit of running right now, but probably June, a couple months. Like it shouldn't be like it's more about like what I learned the last time was like you don't need like you need to consistently increase the volume. You don't need to just like go from 0 miles to 20 miles a week. You just
Hmm.
need to like run a like plan on just running 5Ks for a month. Then like 10 it's like 5K. What did I do last time? It was 5K in September, 10K October. I think what I did is I added up, like I just added another 5 kilometers. And then I ran my longest pre-race run was a 20 miler that I broke up because I cramped super bad because I drank too much salt. That's something you never want to experience when you just end up cramping super bad. And then it's like, well, it can't get worse on race day. Never got worse. Like if you have that bad of a training session, you're like, if this is when it all goes wrong, I will take it.
Hmm.
But it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
Running that race, like the last 5 miles were the worst. I like would never. If you're not interested in running, I will do it all for you. That's what I tell everybody because I'm like I'm probably the only person that wants to do the running.
Yeah.
But it was rough.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran a marathon?
So I've done a half marathon with no
Okay,
training.
nice.
So I was like sitting there like I think it was the first year I went to Thanksgiving with my wife's and her family. And so they were like, "Oh, my brother-in-law's like girlfriend, now wife, is doing the half marathon now. So, do you want to do it with her? And I'm like, yeah, I'll tag along with her. Granted, she's like half the size of me.
Oh.
So every step I took was like two of hers. And so I'm like talking to her. Actually, I've done two half marathons. And so I was like talking to her and just making sure she's okay. Then I'm like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I just like sprinted off the
Course.
beaten path to go, and then I come back and I lose her. And I finally realized like I went in front of her, didn't even realize it. But like the last mile, I completely boinked. Just like
Just
but like just was just like I gotta walk. I was just so useless. I couldn't. It was so bad. And
yeah.
so I just like walked like half the way, and I think I did it in like 2 hours.
That's pretty good for no training.
Yeah,
Like I can't really like fault a guy for doing like a 2 hour half marathon no training. Like that's wild to me.
yeah.
Um,
And then the other one I did was the Seaweeds half marathon up in Vancouver, Canada. It's
okay.
The Lululemon one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep.
funny story with that one. So my wife and I did it, and
Okay.
she was, I think, 1 month pregnant, 1 or 2 months pregnant. She had no clue, no clue that she was pregnant. So like no training once again, because I'm thinking, okay, I got this. So I'm running, I'm like grabbing water for her, drinking, she's drinking water, like everything's going okay. And then there's a spot in Vancouver where there's a turnaround. So you go straight up the street,
Oh,
do a
so
U,
it's an out and back kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
race. Okay.
So I'm there, and all of a sudden I see this dude dribbling two basketballs during the run. And so I told my wife, I'm like, we are not losing to this guy.
Yeah.
Because he had like he was like Dr. Dribble or something like that. That's his like little tagline. So
Yeah.
he's done like the New York Marathon and a bunch of other marathons, like literally dribbling two basketballs at the same time.
Okay. That's a weird thing to do, but
It's
okay.
yeah. So anyway, so we're like 2 miles away from the finish line, and all I hear is do, and I'm
No.
like, fuck, and I'm like, we gotta go. And so like we hit the straightaway. My wife was like so cool, calm, and relaxed, and like having a good run. And then I grabbed her hand on the straightaway and just hauled ass just to the finish line, and we
Yeah.
beat him by like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm not losing to this guy. I don't know. I was like very competitive. I was just
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm
like
like,
there's like you
yep.
always pick those people where it's like there's one person it's like somebody like I like just remember like picking off these people who were like seemed like they had done a lot of marathons and were just like big runners from you could tell from what they're wearing and I'm like, why am I beating you? Like you had like I have no experience here. Like why did you stop? Like that seems wrong.
Hmm.
Like just keep going. And
Yes.
these people would just like just fell apart. But apparently the Fort Worth like marathon called the Cowtown is just very hilly. And I was just like, I'm fine with hills. Like I've squatted a lot and done a lot of lunging and
Yeah.
ran a lot of hills when I was in high school playing lacrosse, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, like it I was messed up for a few days. Like that's what I just remembered, and you probably were the same way after both your halves, where you're like, nope, don't want to run, don't want to do that. That
Yep.
is no, thank you.
The first marathon, half marathon, I slept the whole time until dinner came.
Yeah,
I was literally on the couch like sleeping, and then like my wife's like, "Hey, thanks for talking to the whole family." Like, I'm like, "What
yeah,
do you expect? You just ran a half marathon." Like,
yeah. It's like I don't
I'm
like.
dead.
Yeah, it's like I remember because I was with Dex Hopkins. We got Thai food, and like you feel so hungry,
Hmm.
but the minute you get any like semblance of food, you're just like full immediately, and you're like, I'm good. Like
Yep.
I don't need this. Like I just need to relax and
Yeah. So do you expect your lifting gains or anything like that to like dwindle? Like how
oh
how
yeah,
are you how are
I'm
you
not
planning
gonna
to do
like.
both?
It's like you don't have to do. You don't do both. Like you can't like stay like extremely strong.
Hmm.
It's more just like I want to be lifting, but the weights are gonna be lighter. It's like if I just do all the like female equivalents for a couple months, like I'd probably be better off doing that in metcons. So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I still lifted heavy for like the half marathon, but that like, obviously
yeah,
like that's completely different from what you're planning to do.
yeah,
So,
like it's one of those things where like it happens. Like you can't do anything. And it's just like you lose some strength, but like to people out there, it's like you'll build it like I'm back immensely
Hmm.
faster than you think because of what you put in. It's like, oh, I gave myself 4 weeks, and like usually you're back. I think what was it? Like I was lifting with Dex like the next weekend or 2 or 3 weekends later. I like hang snatched like 230. Like it was like some or no, I snatched 225 off blocks,
Hmm.
like from like high hip, and I was like, Dex was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I still got it." So it was just one of those weird things where it's like they don't go away. It's just like the volume is probably not going to be there. Like you can get one, you're just not going to walk away with a 5 rep max. Like that's just
Hmm.
not going to be a thing. But I'm excited. It'll be fun. Like I just like trying new challenges and stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So I know the Touch and Go gang is going to meet up next week,
Yeah.
possibly. So obviously the big question that's going around the internet is CrossFit dead?
Is it? Are people
I
asking that question?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
haven't heard this question at all. Oh, I guess I'm
Yes.
like,
So I was listening to like a little blip of the Coffee Pods and Wads podcast with Savan in it.
yeah,
And so he was saying that Savan was saying that, you know, all the CrossFit like podcasts that are going on, their numbers are dropping. They're not like getting the viewership or
yeah.
downloads that they were getting like probably like 6 or 8 months ago. But his Savan's podcast is getting, if not more of the downloads and viewership compared to the other people from what he's saying.
Okay, but like, are people really like Savon's podcast is just like what's something that can like what's a catch I don't follow Savon on Instagram, nor
Hmm.
do I listen to his radio. He puts out like 5 hours of content a day. I'm like, one, you're not Joe Rogan and you don't have the guests. Like I understand like if he's thinking if we're judging CrossFit dying by the fact that podcasts aren't being listened to is I think not the right metric.
Well,
Like
even Hiller and Nate Edwardson kind of talked about this in their YouTube channel too.
yeah.
So like
Well,
example,
they're
Nate,
all like the same. Like
yeah.
Hiller goes on Savant. The problem is, it's like if that's your like funnel of like listening, like I don't agree that like those are the only voices to be listening to. Do I think CrossFit's at a crossroads? Awful pun, like just use of wording, phrasing, whatever. But it's just like the where it is right now is like now that super teams are back, it takes away from the affiliate. It's like, what is CrossFit doing for an affiliate? Does CrossFit need affiliates? Like that's the issue. If that's the was the business model that did work, the problem was it's gonna get saturated. You're gonna like find people that want to try other new things. They're gonna go do your soul cycles, your Zumba, your hot yoga classes at Hot Works, or like just insert random fad. Like that's the big thing. Like I don't think CrossFit's ever gonna die. I think CrossFit's just gonna like you're gonna see ebbs and flows, and it's
Hmm.
gonna be hard because Tia was probably the one person that was really throwing out like getting her name was out there. Now she's taking a year off because she's having a baby. Congratulations, but it's like more of the. I think it's more of somebody bought CrossFit, they thought they could flip it, turn it into a tech startup.
Hmm.
That's not really what CrossFit is or like what a workout brand is. Like it's not it's not your Soul Cycle, it's not your Hot Works, it's not the whatever like it's not a
Crunch
Peloton.
Fist. It's not
It's not
Crunch
your
Fitness
Crunch
either.
Fitness, it's not Planet Fitness. It's
Yeah.
not that's not what it is. It's all based on the community and it's like how do you monetize that?
Hmm.
Like that's the issue. It's like I think and really I think what they're trying to do, and I don't think anybody's found it yet, is like, how do you justify the $5,000 licensing fee a year or 3,000, whatever the cost is a year to license, just use the methodology when it's like not getting foot traffic driven to a local gym in my area, or there's 25 gyms in my local area. It's really hard to find that. So I don't think CrossFit's dead. Do you think CrossFit's dead?
I don't, but I can see the reason why like podcasts and like other YouTubers are not getting the views they were like 6 or 8 months ago because to be honest with you, like when you know when I earlier on when I was starting putting videos on YouTube at the Clydesdale Media thing, I was getting like 1K views all the time, all the time.
Okay.
And now it's like even my downloads for my podcast to Spotify, it's they have dropped, a good amount too as well.
Hmm.
So not to the point where like it's like non-existent, but I just think like maybe like I actually was talking to a guy on Instagram too. He's like, maybe just people are sick and tired of hearing like all these elite athletes just like getting softball questions and stuff like that. Maybe the people just want to hear the hard hitting
Yeah,
questions.
but it's also like the problem. Like we're like, what are people going to talk about right now? CrossFit, like the season's over.
Hmm.
People didn't pop for drug tests. So I one try to call the over, so I have to lose that bet and wager. But it's like if there's like what is the biggest news that's happened in CrossFit in the past since the games past, let's call it the past 3 months, is like Tia isn't coming back for the season because
Yep.
she got pregnant.
Yeah.
Like everybody, and it just doesn't seem like there's anything like, again, CrossFit is probably the nicest sport in the world. You
Oh,
do
of
need
course. Yeah.
storylines, but it's like cool. So like what are we gonna like hear about for the next like 8 months is like, is Mal O'Brien gonna win? Who's gonna take over the women's division? Like it's gonna be some abstract version of that. Who's taking over the mayhem mantle because Rich is retired? Like you can't, people are going to be able to build up, and then it's like, is Medeiros going to keep winning, or is he not going to win because of what's been going on? And it's like, good luck figuring it out.
Hmm. Yeah. And plus, like, also, I think that, some people are super nervous of going on to a podcast, especially like someone they don't really know about, because they don't know what that person's going to say whatsoever,
Yeah,
you know? And so, like, I had one guest, like, it was his first podcast, and like he was like super nervous coming on, and so he's like, hey man, I'm like, I've never done one before, I'm like really nervous, and I'm like, hey, I don't, my main goal is to just learn about you. I don't care about like controversy or anything like that, because like to be honest with you, there's nothing on you about controversy. So like
yeah,
there's I don't need it. Like people just want to know who you are,
yeah,
because they see you on Instagram or like some other, like on like the CrossFit Games, like YouTube stream, and they don't know who you are as a person.
yeah. Like that's the big thing. It's like, what is the like? It's one. It's just conversation on podcast. It's literally just what I do through work all the time anyway. But
Hmm.
it's just it's fun. But it's just like, I don't like, if the metric is people's views and everything, and like, could algorithms change? Yes. Could pop like things like there's a lot of other sports going on right now. Like when big CrossFit game stuff is going on, like it's off season. It's like preseason NFL football. It's like in this weird. It's just baseball. Nobody wants to watch baseball anyway. It's a boring sport. Play lacrosse. And so it's just like those are the thing. Like I just don't see that that's the metric. I think they're just trying to like. There's something, it's not, I don't want to use the word stale. It's just like we're in that early part of the season where people don't know.
Hmm.
Like, because like Wadapalooza is going on. Great, cool. I got a bunch of friends going down, but it's like, cool. That's literally it. Like, I haven't seen like anybody send me a cool workout that they're just like, "Ooh, this is gonna be." It's like, I think there's a lot of like, what are, what can you do to refreshen the CrossFit space, and like the name is there, but it's like I don't think it's dead. I think dead is like way too early, and plus we got to go to Alabama for the games in 2 years. I can't wait.
Yeah. And with my thing is, I like interviewing people that like that people don't know about,
Yeah, those
like.
are like the more fun interviews anyway, because you're like, you want a big name to interview, but you also are gonna just be like, oh, what does like that? What are you gonna be able to pull out of the interview that you can't hear somewhere else? Like that's the hardest part, and it's like you're gonna only try to do like, because everybody for the longest time it seemed like Frazier was like the hard one to get. Like everybody, like he went on Rogan, and that was
Mhm.
really the only one he ever did. But then like oh, that's weird. He started a business and decided to go do free advertising on everybody else's podcast.
Yeah, pretty
It's like,
much.
it's not crazy to think like why he went on there. Like,
Hmm.
there's like a, let me help you. Like, it's helping everybody, right? Like, and it's just like, there hasn't been a big launch. Like, Rad Shoes is out there and they're a shoe brand. Like, there hasn't been the hot off-season thing that's happened, like outside of Rogue. Like,
Yeah.
and Rogue seemed like tickets went down.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I do have to give myself a pat on the back. I did get Tudor Magda. That was the first guy that I ever he's ever like I'm the first guy he's ever interviewed with in a
Yeah.
podcast.
And
So
Tudor's the man.
yeah,
I
he's
love
super
Tudor.
nice. Yeah. And like it was so funny because the main thing is like when I talk to people, I try to make them comfortable and
Yeah.
just like just shooting the breeze, like nothing crazy. And he felt like so comfortable after like the first like 5 minutes before we even recorded anything. And
Yeah.
so and then another thing is my other thing is if we do go live, which we're most likely we will, I'm worried about athletes kind of like hushing up a little bit more if they're live because we can't like cut stuff out or whatnot.
Yeah, but like you got to find the right people. Like you those people just need to understand that it's live and it's like is what it is, but it's like if you're wanting to like you want to like if you're trying to be an athlete and you want to do interviews, like you just got to be honest about who you are.
Hmm.
You shouldn't be trying to hold things back. Like there's a reason why the Chandler Smiths, the Noah Olsons, the Danny Spiegels, the people that aren't really at the top of the podium or winning every year are the ones that like, man, why do people really like them? Because they are who they are. Like if you run a very like I just have a Instagram with and I just make sponsored posts all the time and I don't really nothing seems authentic, you're probably not gonna like those are really not the people you want to interview.
Hmm. True. True. But
So like that's the big thing.
yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of venturing out too with other like people not in the non CrossFit space too. Like I
Yeah.
like this one that's coming out. He's like a online personal trainer. Actually, the one before this one, and so like, and I even like listen like talking to power lifters, Olympic weightlifters, like anybody.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like maybe someone might get a tip out of like
Yeah.
a power lifter or like or a bodybuilder or an Olympic weightlifter. Who knows?
Yeah, like you had Lauren Khalil, like you had Katie Knight, like it's all people that just like there's like Lauren's was cool because it was essentially the interviewer finally getting interviewed.
Hmm.
So like that's always nice. You probably want to talk to like Presley Hirsch from Morning Chalk Up or like Pat. Um, like you just want to make sure like all those people because it's like it's more fun just to get more conversations than it is just like oh let's talk about CrossFit. It's like oh God, how many times do you like to do 21:15:9? Oh God, I can only ask about Grace and Isabel so many times. It's like, yeah, people enjoy learning about things outside of their one shared experience. Like
Hmm.
that's the best part about CrossFit is the shared experience in the workout. But what makes people different is like who they are outside of the gym.
Yes, I agree, and that's why Lauren and I talked about tattoos, and so I kind of told her my joke tattoo story.
Yeah,
So like just to get a laugh out of it, and so yeah, it was I was definitely she definitely appreciated like kind of going off outside the CrossFit like realm and stuff like that, and even oh my gosh, I like other people I've talked to that like I don't talk about CrossFit like right off the bat.
oh yeah,
Like Justin Kotler, like I talked about like being a dad,
yeah,
because I wanted to get his experience because like both of our kids are kind of almost in the same age range. So
yeah.
it's kind of interesting, like kind of getting his point of view and everything.
And that's like the more like those are the things that people take away more than like oh here's how you can do a thruster more efficiently. It's like you're not a programming person. Like you're somebody where people want to be entertained for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. So like, I'm very interested to see, if anybody else talks about, if is CrossFit dead anymore or like, I don't think maybe for clickbait, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's great for a YouTube channel where it's like, oh, Hiller is still on his 6 months post a video every day. Cool, man. But there's only so many reps that you can like talk about before it's like like there's got to be the next thing. Like you got to consistently figure out like, okay, how can we reinvent the wheel? And that's like the most important thing. But yes, CrossFit is not dead. People
Yes.
need to know that.
Yeah. So with Wadapalooza, you're going to Wadapalooza, right?
No,
Oh, you're not. I thought you were.
I was, and now I'm not. So I'll be at TFX at the end of January now.
Okay. Okay. Are
Yes,
you excited for that?
I am, like, because I've never been as a spectator. So it should be fun. Hopefully, it's warm out. On the outskirts of Austin, every time I've gone as an athlete, it's always just frigid. It's super cold. People don't expect, like, it's not like, because it's on a plateau. If you're on the outskirts, it's windy, it's rough. So
Hmm.
hopefully it's warm, but I'm excited about it. Haven't seen any workouts drop yet, but it'll be good.
And and you said end of January or end of February?
Yes, it's the very last weekend of January.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like typically, like down those areas, like Austin, like San Antonio, Texas, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like they're flat. They get really cold.
Yeah, and like people are like, "Oh, it's Texas. It's warm all the time." I'm like, "No, no, no.
Nope.
We're
Nope.
not near the Gulf. Like it's not like you're 3 hours, but trust me, those 3 hours make a difference."
Yeah. I was stationed in Wichita Falls, Texas, which is like 20 minutes south of the Oklahoma border. And
Cold.
yeah, it was cold. Like the wintertime, it was crazy because like it would start snowing a little bit, and I'd have kids from like Arizona or like other places that have never seen snow before, and they're like, is this snow?"
Oh, it's
And
like,
I'm like,
yes.
and they're like, "We're in Texas right now. This shouldn't be happening." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, you're like near Oklahoma. Of course it's gonna
Yeah,
snow."
that's like when I moved from Fort Worth to Tulsa and I drove up. It's a 4 hour difference. You're just going 4 hours, literally, like straight north. And
Yeah.
so you're like, it was like 65, sunny when I left, got to Tulsa, snowing. And I was like, what the hell? Like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is not how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah. So like, I'm really I would like I can't. Are they doing a live stream for the TFX thing? No.
I don't think they've ever done a live stream. They just do,
Like a
yeah,
recap?
uh, maybe, or just Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. What would you think about doing like a 5 minute recap, just kind of like ESPN, like Sports Center kind of deal for
Oh,
like
I could do that. That would,
Wadapalooza?
yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Like
Yeah.
that would be fun to do, like a NFL countdown, like TJ and what's his face?
I don't know. I don't really
I
watch
don't
Sports
remember
Center
the
that
names,
much,
but
but
it's like that would be fun. Like those are the things that like CrossFit needs. The problem is it's like you got to pay money to like actually make them seem nice. So that's the hard part.
well, I was talking to Lauren Khalil about that. She was actually saying like someone should do like those like 5 minute quick,
Yeah,
you know, intros and stuff like that. And so, I know Clydesdale's doing that. I wouldn't mind doing it too. So just throwing it
yeah,
out there.
yeah. It would be fun. But yeah, those like little like updates and everything. So everything like those would be good. I just don't know who's going to TFX and who's competing this year.
They typically have some decent people there.
Yeah, like Josh Alachama was there last year. They get some people. So like that is like they get some quality athletes. It's just like it's real. This sounds bad. It's like the people that don't go compete at TF or at Wadapalooza go to TFX. It's like usually because they're so close that you got to pick one or the other because you're usually it used to be like back to back weekends, but now it's not. So, but it'll be fun. The drive down there will be really boring, but we'll make it.
How far of a drive is for you?
7.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I've done that with kids.
Yeah,
So
it's you make one stop, hit it, you're done. That's it.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I think this is time to wrap up, and so we'll do
Okay.
the touch and go gang next week.
Yep.
So yeah, well, thank you for coming on, and Nick just literally sent a DM on us. So
Yes, and he did. So I'll respond back to him and talk to him, and then we'll get him back on the. I'm excited to interview him here in a couple weeks.
yeah, those questions that I wrote up I thought they were really good. So
They are, and so they'll be great when the one guest that we need to ask them to shows up.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Garrett, very much, guys, for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, our little banter back and forth. And yeah, have a great day.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, man.